Awesome. All right, so I've received a bunch of emails from people asking me if the interiors of the towers are included in the pack. Also, some of you have been posting in comments asking me the same question. The answer is yes, they are actually. And I decided to make this real short video to show you what exactly this environment pack has to offer. So if we're gonna real quick disable the static lighting and just switch it to movable, to dynamic, because otherwise it's baked lighting and the interiors are gonna be completely pitch black. So yeah, as you can see, all the tower parts, all the assets, they're completely separate and modular, which means you can stack them, make taller towers, make different types of towers. The interiors are included as well, and I've also included minimalistic wooden plank floors, and you can expand on that. There are a lot of wooden plank assets inside the pack, so you can do like a step ladder or whatever it is you want really. So I hope it answers most of your questions, if not all of them. So yeah, as you can see, you have a couple of different wall types. I've also included different buttresses, a bunch of sculpted bricks. You also have separate rooftops. I've included a certain number of decals, which you can put on top of the tower to make it look completely different from each other. Yeah, so as you can see, you can do all of that. I've also included two blueprints which have combined towers. So you don't, like, if you just want to have a look how to put the parts together, you can just put a blueprint in your scene and just follow an example or create your own. So as you can see, I've also included a large number of foliage meshes, and you can see that I have vines growing everywhere. I have lily pads on the surface of the water. I also have different types of flowers and grasses as well. So yeah, all of that is included too. As for environment assets themselves, I have a bunch of different rock types. I have basalt columns, and also included two different shader types. So if you want to have rescalable rocks, which means if you scale the rock up, the texture resolution grows with it, you can do that too. I tend to stick to the default shaders because I like to see all the sculpting details on the rock instead of just a texture with the normal map. It just doesn't look as good in my opinion. So, but it's up to you. That's why I included several different types. So I created this water shader as well with real-time vertex animation and so you have some nice Gessner waves going on. And you can rescale them, make them bigger, change the color of the water, so forth and so on. I think that pretty much covers the description of this pack. I'm just gonna go real quick to the other scene and I'm gonna show you all the assets put together. So yeah, that's how they look originally, and then you just saw the demonstration scene, how they can look if you put them together properly. So there you go, that's all the foliage assets. Like I mentioned before, you have some nice hanging moth, some vines, some mud. Also, these are all the tower pieces, which you can combine, put together. And like I said before, you have 4 different rock types with different shaders. So each rock has 2 different types, basically, of the same rock, if you will. And the wooden plank assets as well. This scene is also included in the bag, so you can open it up and have a look at it anytime you want. Second question people have been asking me is how can I make my environment more performant? So in this case, I was using planar reflections just for demonstration purposes because they're really expensive to have in your scene. So if you open the environment and you're gonna check the FPS and the milliseconds it takes to load, you're going to see that it's not very performant at the moment and it's probably not going to work in VR at all. And if you go and type in planar reflections, you're going to find that I have 2 of them in the scene, or 1 in this case. And if you just disable them, you can see that FPS grows exponentially straight away. So yeah, that's kind of a big deal. And if you're gonna use planar reflections, use them wisely. Don't just like put it everywhere. It's gonna kill your performance. Also, it's worth to mention that most of the environment assets here, they use 4K textures, which is not very performant, especially for VR titles. So if you wanna increase the performance even further, what you can do is you can go through and set the maximum texture resolution to 2K. It helps quite a bit. This is all for today, and I hope this video was useful for you guys. So yeah, let me know what you think.